Hey there, it's CJ Willie and I'm cracking a pack today. I'm back with pack number 6 in my 1988 Topps Mini Leaders box. I'm trying to see how many packs I have to crack to get all 77 cards to complete the set. I've included the link to the preview video in the description below, which gives a little explanation on the set and the highlights of what I could pull in cracking these packs. Since each pack only has seven cards, I'll guess which category or categories the player led their league. Then I'll flip the card over and see if I was right or how very bad my memory was of the 1987 season. So I've also got this checklist to keep me on track of things. We'll kind of zoom in a little bit. There, to be able to see it. Okay, and as I go along, I'm going to be marking these off. So we are marking off pack number 6 today. All right, let's see how I did in remembering the 1987 Topps Major League season. Okay, trying to open it so I can't cheat on the back and see the category. Some of these packs open a little hard because of the wrapping. Okay, let's move the spring training trip off. So it looks like we're going to have a few duplicates today. Figured that we would probably get some duplicates just based upon small set, 36 packs. It's going to happen. So the first one is Tom Henke. I've already got Tom Henke, so I'm going to mark him off here as a duplicate. And my memory will be pretty good because I remember that Tom Henke led the American League in saves in 1987. Yep, with 34 saves. Henke was a closer with the Blue Jays for a while. Helped them to almost win the American League East Division in 1987, but they fell just a little short to the Tigers. He also ranked first in games finished with 62, and total games he was fourth with 72. Okay, next one we have Dave Stewart. I think we've already gotten Dave Stewart. Yep, so we may have a pack of complete duplicates. Dave Stewart was the league leader in wins, ERA, probably was up there in complete games, shutouts, innings, maybe even strikeouts as well. So victories, he was tied for first. He was second in games started, sixth in strikeouts, seventh in innings, and ninth in ERA. So he had a pretty good year at 20 and 13. So not too bad for Dave Stewart. This was the year before the A's, so 1988 was the first season the A's went to the World Series in a string of 3 consecutive years, 88, 89, and 90. Next we have Harold Reynolds. It was another duplicate, so 3 duplicates so far in this pack. Reynolds came up with the Mariners in 1985. His rookie card was in 1986. He's currently a baseball analyst with MLB Network. Back in the day, he was a pretty speedy guy, so stolen bases is what I'm going to say. He's one I can't remember from our doubles what he did, but yep, he was first in stolen bases in 1987, and then he ranked 5th or tied with 8 triples. So anyway, there's Harold Reynolds. Spent a number of years with the Mariners. I think he spent his entire career with the Mariners. I think he may have spent like his last year maybe with the Angels. I'll have to check that out. Next is Todd Worrell. So the Cardinals are my favorite team. So this is my first Cardinals card, so pretty excited about that. 1987, the Cardinals went to the World Series and lost to the Twins, so a little bit of a bummer. Worrell was their closer. He came up at the very end of 85 and helped them to the World Series, part of the infamous Game 6 versus the Royals, where Don Denkinger blew the call. Cardinals lost the game, lost the series. Worrell, being the closer, probably was a league leader in saves with the National League. So he ranked 3rd with 33 saves. Worrell would continue to be their closer through 88. In 1989, toward the end of the year, he blew out his arm. Was on the disabled list for 2 to 3 years, came back, and then finished out his career with the Dodgers. Let's get Worrell marked off. So, not a duplicate. That's not too bad. Eric Davis is our next card. I really liked Eric Davis back in the day. He was a 30-30 player. Looked like he was going to be on his way to be a 40-40 player. But his body betrayed him. He just couldn't stay healthy with all the different injuries. He was part of the 1990 World Series team with the Reds that beat the A's and denied them a back-to-back World Championship. My guess with Eric Davis, probably led the league in saves, or not saves, steals. I don't remember if 87 was one of his bigger years, but he may have been a league leader in home runs. I'm probably going to go with steals, and I don't know, let's throw out doubles. So home runs was one of them, and stolen bases was the other. He was fourth in home runs with 37, fourth tied for steals with 50, 120 runs scored. He also had 100 RBI for the season. He was second in slugging percentage, seventh in bases on ball, and eighth on base percentage. So he had 30 home runs and 50 steals, almost 3 home runs away from 40-40. He probably would have got there. Probably can't see. Oh, there we go. The shadow's out of the way. He only played 129 games. I believe he was injured for part of the summer. So if he doesn't get injured, he's definitely a 40-40 guy in 1987. So let's mark off Eric Davis. Okay. Next we have Carlton Fisk, Pudge, Hall of Famer catcher. Spent a long, distinguished career with the Red Sox, the White Sox. My favorite memory of Carlton Fisk is the 1976 World Series, where he hits a home run and is dancing up and down and trying to wave the ball to keep it fair so it won't go foul. Great career for Carlton Fisk. This is going to be a stretch for me. I'm not entirely sure what he was a league leader in 1987. He wasn't a speedy guy, so I doubt it was anything of that variety. I'm going to probably go with home runs. Maybe he got up there in the home run battle. Maybe doubles. I doubt it was batting average. This is one that tests my memory because I just don't recall in 1987 what he led the league in. There we go. Probably one of the stats I continually forget about. Game-winning RBI. He was second with 17. Game-winning RBI is not even a stat that's tracked anymore, so it's hard for me to kind of remember that from back in the day. So let's mark our Carlton Fisk, a Hall of Famer that we've recently gotten, and then Pedro Guerrero to round out the pack. Pedro Guerrero spent a number of years with the Dodgers, moved over to the Cardinals in a trade in which John Tudor went from the Cardinals to the Dodgers. I was disappointed with that. I really liked John Tudor. Tudor eventually pitched a couple years with the Dodgers, got hurt, came back to the Cardinals, finished out his career with a great year in 90. Guerrero had a pretty good career, was a power hitter, a speedy guy with the Dodgers, went to the Cardinals, didn't have as much power, but he definitely could hit and had a pretty good batting average. I'm going to say in 87, he definitely led the league in home runs, possibly RBI, batting average, he was up there as well. So when we take a look, it's second in batting average, second in hits, fifth in on-base percentage, and eighth in slugging percentage. So I was completely off on the home run and RBI. He only had 27 home runs and 89 RBI in 1987, but definitely had a great batting average and got on base as well. Okay, card I want to spotlight out of this pack, or probably my favorite card, I'm going to go with Pedro Guerrero. I was really disappointed when the Cardinals traded for Pedro Guerrero and traded away John Tudor. Tudor was kind of one of the last stars with the Cardinals in their run in the mid-'80s. And so part of that was disappointing to see John Tudor leave and Pedro Guerrero come in. But Guerrero turned out to be an all-star with the Cardinals, even though they were in their down years in the late 80s and early 90s. Guerrero did contribute, and they actually both played together in the 1990 season when John Tudor returned to the Cardinals. It didn't really help them because they weren't able to make the playoffs. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did like it, please subscribe and share. Also share with me in the comments what your favorite card or what you thought was the best card in the pack. Until next time, when I crack the next pack of my 1988 Topps Mini Leaders in my quest to complete the set.